Hello and welcome to 1111 Oracle. Today we're going to tune into your energy, see what kind of energy you give off, what kind of vibe, how basically people feel around you. Before we start, we're going to go into a little bit of a meditation to clear the energies with the Tibetan singing bowl. This is made primarily to clear a negative energy in a space, mine, yours. Crystal singing bowl, if you're not familiar with this one, you can look up especially sound healing. It's becoming more and more popular now and within the New Age community. Each crystal, they'll become in various sizes. This one is tuned to the throat chakra. So these are made to tune into the vibrations of the different chakras. If you're not familiar with the chakra system, no worries. All I'm saying is basically we're opening up that communication between us and spirit in order to better channel information on giving you a better, more accurate reading. All right. If you're not interested in this meditation, of course, you can just go ahead to fast forward to the choose a crystal. And then you can fast forward to your reading. But if you've never heard the sound of the Tibetan singing bowl, and especially the crystal singing bowl, I encourage you to stay because the sounds are particularly healing, and I find rather beautiful. All right, so here we go. We're going to start off by clearing the negative energy in the space. And negative energy is anything that is just tense and not serving us anymore, all right? Not serving our highest good, our highest intention, blocking us or whatever. Here it is, and you'll hear the sound clearing away my space and yours. That was very light. Not a lot of negative energy, I guess. Okay, now I'm going to ring the crystal singing bowl. So if you fast forward that meditation, now you have reached the select a crystal or choose a crystal portion of video. And if you haven't bypassed the little meditation there, then you're introduced to something new. All right, so we have 4 crystals to choose from. Okay, and I'm going to show them to you. So this is crystal number 1. This is what is that word? Oh gosh, forgetting. The fluorite crystal. There we go. Okay. This is number 2. Not sure if this is a crystal or just, it's beautiful. It's a spiral, looks like a shell. And that's the other side of it. Interesting, right? Who knew that inside this pretty ordinary looking outside of the rock, you have this gorgeous interior? Makes you think about the rocks around you, doesn't it? Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, and sorry, I don't know the name for number 2 and number 3, but you can take a look and get an intuitive feel for the crystal. This is a rare, it's not a crystal quartz, although it looks clear. It's a crystal that was found in South Africa, I believe. It's pretty rare, but I forget the name. Okay, that's number 3. Number 4 is lovely little amethyst. Okay, that's crystal number 4. Okay, so now you can go ahead and fast forward and choose your, go to the timestamps and choose your number. Okay, starting off with number 1. All right, with this gorgeous, gigantic crystal. I'm gonna put that right in the background here. Do you want to see it? I'd want to see it if I were you. It's one of my newer crystals. Let's see if I could do something like this. There we go. Okay, so let's see, number 1, what kind of energy you have. Okay, 3 of Cups, Other World. Ooh, very interesting already. Sorry about that. Okay, we have a little match girl here and celebration. Interesting. So you have the 3 of Cups and celebration. So right off the bat, you are someone, right? The 3 of Cups represents celebration. And then you have the word celebration from the Unicorn Oracle deck. You're someone who is, first of all, you have almost like the 2 sides to you. You have this outer persona and an inner persona. Now everybody does, everybody has an outer and an inner persona, but yours is quite distinct. So on the outside, you are someone who is really full of life, very infectious, very magnetic kind of personality. You have this sort of lunar energy to you. And what I mean by that is a sort of mystical vibe. You give off a very mystical vibe. And it's almost like as you walk, you sparkle, you glow. You, on the inside, are a little, almost, I want to say, darker than the outside, in the sense that you are not dark as in evil or anything like that. Nothing to do with that. But you're just a little bit more pensive, more reflective, more in touch with the yin side, the spiritual, mystical aspect of yourself on the inside. Although on the outside, you give off remnants of that vibe. You certainly give off an impression, a glimmer, almost like a sneak peek into the you that you're inside. You're very light, the way you step, even the way you walk. It's very light. You have sort of this soft, I'm even feeling voice. You have a very soft, you're very soft spoken. You're not a loud person. Yet despite the fact that you're not a very loud person and that you are a little bit more soft spoken, your energy speaks volumes for you. You might have a strong, if you know anything about your birth chart, you might have a strong scorpionic aspect to you, maybe something like Scorpio rising. You may be a Scorpio, you may have Pluto in the first house, or Pluto conjunct the ascendant, or have a strong 8th house energy, which is the house of Scorpio. You're very connected spiritually. You are extremely connected to the higher planes of existence, but I'm also getting the feeling that you see things too. Now, this is going in a little bit away from the type of energy that you give off, of course, but I'm just getting some extra information here that may or may not pertain to you. Of course, if it doesn't, then, disregard, and, obviously that information wouldn't mean anything to you. That's fine. But I'm just getting that you do see things, like you do see ghosts, and you carry then this energy pattern with you. So sort of the who you are and what you do is intrinsically linked to the energy vibrations and patterns that you give off. There's a very soulful, almost very touching and sad aspect to you. And that sounds negative, but I don't look at it as negative. Personally, I'm a lover of all things melancholic, romantically melancholic, and I don't see, a touch of sadness as being anything bad per se. I see it as, kind of very magical in a way, mysterious. There's an element of you that is a little darker in the energy. So you give off two vibes. You give off almost like this hot and cold kind of vibe, where your energy itself is warm and bright and full of, you give people sort of even an element of hope. But then there's also, it's like, how do I explain this? I'm getting this image in my mind of when I can't think of the right kind of food, but if you maybe you can fill in the blanks with this. If you bite into something, or here, like maybe wine, I don't know. You have a glass of wine, okay? At first it might taste a certain way, but then as you let the wine soak into your palate, you can taste the different flavors. So that's a little bit of the kind of energy you give off. At first you come into the room and you give off a lot of light, and there's this energy, there's this beautiful sort of joyful energy to you. But then when you leave the room, it's almost like you leave people with a little bit of reflection. They start to think about things that they need to improve in their lives, and they may not even know that it's because you were in the room, but it's almost like you reach deeply into people without them even noticing. Like you're there and they're seeing something on the superfluous level, but there's a double whammy where you're the sort of deeper, darker tone to you affects their energetic feeling or vibe, and then they're sort of left afterwards with these sort of more reflective feelings and ideas. You're very interesting as a person. Very interesting energy. People think they know you, but they don't. And there are very few people who truly do. But you do, there's this element of sadness, and celebration, juxtaposition with each other. And you are very connected. You give to the spiritual realms, of all spiritual realms, not just higher dimensions, but maybe lower dimensions as well, where you get some kind of negative energies drawn to you. And you're very soulful. You have a very soulful energy vibration. And there is a lot of, you have a tremendous potential to be very giving and loving towards others. There's a lot of love in you. You give a lot of hope to others, but yet, despite the fact that you give, there's this element of cold, of like an inner, it's like on the outside you're summer and on the inside you're winter, if that makes sense to you. But it's a beautiful energy. I think it's just very whimsical and lovely. Well, that is your reading. And that's the kind of energy that you give off. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, pile 2. Let's see what kind of energy you give off. And move crystal 1 out of the way. Forgot to do that. Crystal 2. So maybe if crystal 1 was still there, it may or may not apply to you, but you might be a message for you to check out the first reading. And if you don't feel that that's the case, then it isn't. Okay. Let's take a look here. Oh, that's surprising. Yeah, it's kind of echoed in the, that's kind of echoed here. Let's turn this around, get a better, there we go. It doesn't make a difference, okay. Here we are. Okay. So you have you are really very, wow. Sorry, I'm just taken aback because when you come in the room, you really glow, you really sparkle. You shine, but you shine because of the trials and tribulations that you've been through, and you've been through a lot. You give off a vibe of someone who has definitely experienced and endured a lot of hardships, but who is basically just like a soldier. You give off this very glowing, like strong energy, very strong, beautiful sparkle. And this is sort of like, I almost want to say a diamond in the rough type of energy, where you glow because of, right, all of this hardship and all these hills that you've had to walk over and tread, and you glow and you shine and you sparkle because you've really worked through all of those challenges that have been thrown your way. Your success story sparkles. You sparkle, and you give off this very sort of powerful leader type, in control. It's like you finally opened your eyes, like you were in the dark for a long time. You were reminiscing and you were stuck in the past and you were stuck in your pain. And then you finally just had this aha moment where you woke up and you said, hey, why am I doing this to myself? I don't deserve this. I've worked hard. I deserve better. And so the energy you give off is very much like, hey, yeah, come at me, you know, when you come into a room. It's very much like, you know what? I'm going to shine like the star that I am. And if you have a problem with that, too bad. So that's totally the energy that I'm picking up from you. You're very reflective as a person. You think a lot about the past. And if you don't, you have been reminiscent during difficult times, or when you go through difficult times, you definitely think your challenges over and over. And then you've recently decided to just get out of that. So what I'm feeling for you is that your energy wasn't necessarily always like this, hence the diamond in the rough. A diamond, when not polished, I think it's still beautiful because I'm a big fan of raw crystals, but a diamond, when not polished, you know, looks gray with little dots of sparkles, a little bit like this. And then when you polish it, of course, you get the sort of commercial diamonds that we have today. And I say commercial because those are the diamonds that, you know, girl's best friend, very popular. But you're a different kind of diamond, aren't you? You are one of the most beautiful diamonds because you're not afraid of being a little rough. You're not afraid of your rough edges. And people see that and people appreciate that. And you, yeah, you give off this vibe of, I want to say, I'm hearing the word stardom. So it doesn't mean you're famous, and maybe you are, or you're well known in your community, or your friends, or you're popular. I'm getting the feeling that you are quite popular, and if you're not, then I think that a lot of people would like to know you better because you have this a little bit of an enigmatic, sort of mysterious, but powerful energy to you that draws people forward because you sparkle so much. So you're strong and you sparkle. You sparkle because of everything you've gone through, and because you've polished and you've polished and you've polished your diamond, you're coming in and you're saying, hey, look, okay, I'm not your regular diamond here, but I am freaking, excuse my language, beautiful diamond. And it's very difficult not to notice you when you walk into the room. Very difficult. You're just a star. What could I say? You're strong, your energy's out there, and you're a star. Beautiful. Lovely energy. I mean, not just lovely, amazingly spectacular is probably the better word for it. Thank you very much for tuning in. Okay, number 3. Welcome to your reading. I'm just going to put it there in the background. It's just going to hang out with us, you know, give us some of its vibes. Let's take a look at what kind of an energy you have, what kind of energy you give off. Okay, I want to put this one next to this one, and then we have this. Right. You have a lovely young energy to you. You may be young yourself, or just young spirit, or you just may be a little bit more on the quiet side. You're very in touch with nature. You love nature. You're very grounded. But yeah, you've experienced a lot of different types of lessons in your life, you know, and it hasn't always been easy. Red Riding Hood right here. Going through, this card says, take a rites of passage, okay? Then mixed with the Page of Wands, you see that? I see that you're someone with a lot of bright ideas. You have a lot of creativity. You have a good dose of fire energy, although I wouldn't say that that's necessarily your dominant energy, but it does allow you to, you know, it gives you opportunities when it comes to work and business. You're a very patient person. You're very patient. You're very good at working with others. You like to work with others, but you're also kind of shy and a little bit withdrawn. You have this grace to you. You have this elegance to you. You have this lightness to you. And despite the fact that you have this lightness to you, you also have a lovely kind of just nicely grounded energy, right? You're very here and now. You definitely like to focus on the here and now. You have a good balance between your left and your right brain. In other words, you're creative, but you're also logical. You know when the right time is to strike. And this comes from all of the sort of challenges, or I don't want to say challenges in your case, because you're so graceful at taking on each one of your lessons. So I'm going to say lessons. It almost seems like it's a lesson. You go to school and you learn a lesson. It's some other people would maybe, if they experience some of the things that you've experienced, would feel that they are more challenges. But for you, even though they were hard and no one could know what it felt like to be in your shoes, no one could definitely say that for sure. You learn to tackle on what's come your way, sort of graceful. You're very go with the flow. You have a very nice balance between all the elements possibly in your chart. Water, earth, air, fire. I'm getting fire from the red here. And the fire here, the air from the clouds. I'm getting water vibes from this, but also especially you can't really see it here. I'll show you close up. She has, okay. To me, her little crown, tiara, headpiece looked like little bulbs of like dewdrops, but they're crystals instead. But I feel water. I felt water from that. I feel like you have a good, you're healthily in touch with your emotions for the most part, right? Like any human has different experiences with emotions, good and bad, but for the most part you have a good, healthy understanding of your emotions. You're very peaceful, you're very calming. It's very nice to be around you. People get a very calming vibe, very you are just dainty, I'm hearing too. You're dainty. Something about you is very dainty. You're very good with your hands, very patient. You're dainty. You're detail oriented, and you give off this vibe of just being very kind of, aware of your surroundings, aware of the details. People are also constantly looking at where you're looking for some reason. When you look somewhere, because you're so detail oriented, and when you focus on something, you focus really, really attentively. Just even strangers around you are very sort of curious as to what you're looking at, because it looks like it's so important and it's so interesting. So they look at what you're looking at, and they don't see what you see, but you almost inspire others to take their time and to appreciate the small things and the little things a little bit more. And everybody just loves to be around you. People love to be around you. You're also nicely guided by spirit when it comes to, your life path. I'm getting that you're very protected spiritually as well. So you don't need to worry about any hiccups and hangups moving forward, particularly with your career that's going a little bit out there. Sorry if I'm blabbing about extra information, but your energy, to recap, is very just soft, grounded, reassuring, calming, lovely, dainty, and peaceful. And also, I say reassuring because there is this very nice, practical, logical nature to you that adds to your reassuring, peaceful, calming, grounding nature. You have a young vibe to you. You're very fresh. You're very young. You have great ideas, and people feel that when they're around you too. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Oh, and you're quite beautiful. People just, like a flower in nature, in a garden, people look at you and say, oh, she is so, or he is so handsome, beautiful. Very nice. Okay, number 4, amethyst. Right? You already saw that. I don't know. Like, yeah, I know, I chose it. All right, let's see. Getting an interesting vibe from you guys right away. And let's see what the cards have to say. I like your vibe. Hey, what you doing over there? Why doing that? Okay. Okay. You are someone who, this is what I felt when I picked up the amethyst. You just know things. You are very balanced emotionally. You don't ever react too strongly to things. That doesn't necessarily mean that if you react strongly to things that you're not balanced emotionally, but you're very kind of, you don't go too high, you don't go too low, you stay pretty much level. Inside though, inside you're feeling all kinds of things, but on the outside surface you keep it rather chill, and you know how to kind of bring yourself down, calm yourself down as well. You are very aware of others. You may have a strong connection with a sister, as this card says. I don't know if you're familiar with this story, Snow White and Rose Red. The Snow White in this story is not the same as the Snow White in the story of Snow White that we're more familiar with. Okay. Anyway, they're sisters, Snow White and Rose Red. It's a sister love. Yeah. So you may have a very, I just heard twin flame. And then there's this card here with this lady who looks like she's getting married. Yeah, you see that? This elf or fairy getting married. Just getting married, everybody. You may have a wedding coming up and then people just feel that around you. You talk about it all the time. It shows up, okay? But that may not be the case, okay? That's a possibility. General reading, there's possibly, a lot of people tuning in, so. But I do feel that there's a strong connection with someone else, and you may be a twin, or you may have a twin flame relationship, or you may be, getting married, but there's a strong connection with someone else. And that connection with that other person, it could be that person is in the physical with you now or in spirit. For a lot of you, I'm getting that person is in spirit, and that person's energy sort of imprints on yours, just like yours on theirs. So their energy is sort of, kind of the yin to your yang, or the yang to your yin. I'm getting that there's something quite, magical about you. Okay, this is a very sort of almost cut and dry reading for me. You're balanced. You are very connected to another being, whether that be physical or non-physical, and you'll know what resonates with you as you hear me say this. You're very level on the outside. You're very chill, and despite the fact that you are level and chill, You also see a lot of things that other people don't see. I'm going to say that you're very, you're clairvoyant. I keep saying seeing. So you're clairvoyant. You are a good manifester. You're able to manifest a lot of positivity into your life. And because you're so grounded and level, you know how to manifest the right things. Although, as is the case with anyone, sometimes we don't always manifest the right things. But in general, things just work out for you again. And that's just, again, confirmation with the number 22. I don't know if you can see that. If it's blurry, I hope not. Okay, 22. Okay, anyway, sorry for the blur. 22 is in numerology a number that could, 2 represents a relationship, partnership, right? Repeated 2s can have to do with, again, reiterating that you have a twin flame relationship, a very strong twin flame relationship. Twin flame relationship does not necessarily mean romantic, although judging by the fact that we do have this sort of wedding dress apparel here, I would say that in your case, for most people tuning in here, it's going to be romantic. So if you haven't come into alignment with your twin flame, your energy is attracting your twin flame relationship. Something's happening energetically with the planet now where people are just receiving kind of what they deserve, whether good or bad, depending on their karmic ties and debt. And at least from what I've kind of been noticing around me, so everything's kind of coming into alignment. So you are coming into alignment with, as you come into alignment with yourself and as you balance out everything within yourself, you are drawing in connections with spirit, with your twin flame, and you are attracting a lot of things to you without you really having to try very hard. You're a hard worker. You are a hard worker. In fact, you're a very hard worker. But you also know how to work smart. You also are very smart about the way in which you work. It's very envious, actually. So you've kind of figured out your A to Z or A to Z, depending on where you're coming from and tuning in for this video. Yeah, you're magical, you're just drawing things. What could I say? You're balanced, you're magical, you have this very magnetic vibe to you. You get what you want. And you're coming into alignment with a twin flame connection, whether that be in spirit or in person. Judging from the birds, because birds are often also symbolically associated with messages from spirit. You either are receiving a lot of messages about this in your dreams, I'm getting, or at nighttime. It's just when you're calmer, because you're you have a very organized mind. Not everybody does. Mine tends to be a little bit more chaotic, I would say. Your mind is particularly organized. And because it's so organized during the day, you are very focused on day-to-day tasks. And then at nighttime, your mind is a little freed up to receive messages. And then you receive messages in dreams, and you receive messages at night, and sometimes during the day. It's just that you don't always pay attention to them during the day. It's like you don't have time to. But anyway, you're connected to spirit. Spirit's sending you messages. Your energy is, again, to recap, calm, chill, balanced, organized. You give off the impression that you know what you're doing. In fact, sometimes people kind of steer clear from you because you give off, like, I don't want to say antisocial, but it's like you you're so focused on what you have to do that you don't really have time necessarily to talk to person A and person B and person C. I'm liking the alphabet today. Maybe you're very good with your words. You're very precise with your words. And you're very maybe categorical. You are someone who's very organized and you like to categorize, and that's the sort of energy you give off. But at the same time, you also have this, connection with spirit, with the divine, with magic, right? And then you attract what you want to you. You manifest. You're a powerful manifester. You put into practice what you think. You don't necessarily go and talk about what you want to do in your projects and this is what I'm going to do without, any grounding. You kind of keep it to yourself and then it just comes out in what you do. And then it just manifests. So, yeah, very nice energy. Very in control, in touch with magic. You get what you want. You have this sort of like chill, balanced vibe, and then you attract what it is that you think up in your mind. Wonderful. Love it. All right. And to end the reading, I'm going to choose an extra card if you want to take a look at this. This is for everybody. This is a message for everybody. I'm going to let you just gaze at this lovely oracle card here for a bit. This is from a deck that is involved in a humanitarian project to heal others, heal people from pain and for blockages, and to give them a little bit of wisdom in their day. I'm going to read the associated page with that as you look at the card. Now I encourage you, as you look at this card, to gather your own intuition about what this means to you. So this word, the picture, the dragonfly on his forehead, the hearts, the earrings, the beanie, the whatever, his face. Maybe it reminds you of someone you know. Maybe it looks like you. Maybe it looks like you. This is going to be important to you for whatever reason that it is. And I'm going to go ahead and read the story that goes with this card. From as early as I can remember, I was moody. I constantly searched for outer reasons to explain my moods, and spent my entire youth chasing after everything and everyone I believed caused me joy, avoiding or blaming those I held responsible for my pain. Let me put this down. My arm's getting tired. There you go. Okay. As I matured, instead of longing for superficial feel-good opportunities, I yearned to feel personally free, romantically fulfilled, and spiritually enlightened. So I embarked on a quest for the perfect soulmate. Teacher and heightened state of being, I became a professional seeker, tantric whiz, and workshop junkie. I fell in and out of love with so many people, practices, and gurus I lost count. When I was in love, I believed I was free. But actually, I was trapped and addicted to the never-ending hope of romance, the dream of liberation, the catharsis of drama. I was hooked on disappointment and how secretly great I felt complaining about my unending stream of bad luck. The roller coaster had no end. My emotions ruled me. Even though I could see and explain all of my issues, I was still hopelessly blind to the fact that I wasn't taking responsibility for my life. I was still giving my power away to something or someone out there who could rescue me or make me miserable. In the end, it was all about me, my love, my awakening, my happiness, my disappointment. It wasn't until I met a woman who saw into the core of my victimization that my heart cracked open. I could no longer hide from her or myself. It was through the intimacy of our relationship that I learned to face my deepest fears and most hidden agendas. For the first time in my life, I rose in love instead of falling. Not just with her, but with all of life. I stopped complaining and blaming others, no longer burdened by complicated stories and devastating dramas. I was free to feel much more deeply and fully, and to make decisions without agonizing and second-guessing. No longer clinging to teachers or techniques, I started experiencing the kinds of synchronicities I'd always dreamed of. Just naturally, I did more of what I loved, writing songs, enjoying friends, and spending time in nature. Now people tend to relax around me. They feel free to be who they are. I now know deep in my soul that I am connected to all of life. My gift to you. I come to tell you that the freedom you seek has nothing to do with what you do, what you understand, or how you feel. It has to do with the attitude you embrace, no matter what is happening within or around you. Can you live your life without over-relying on outer path systems and structures to keep you safe? Can you fully feel whatever you're feeling without getting lost in drama or the stories of the mind? Can you experience a longing without rushing to meet it or escape it? Can you find peace during painful moments? Can you embrace not knowing? Can you simply be? Freedom is yours the moment you give up the thought that someone else is responsible for your life, or that you are separate from life. Practice transparency and radical self-acceptance, and you will discover your magnificence. Questions for contemplation. Where are you your own worst enemy? What and who do you tend to complain most about or blame? Where do you feel like a victim? Be honest. What systems or structures do you find yourself relying on or hiding behind? What might happen if you let them go? Think of a time in your life when you felt free and empowered. How would you describe your overall attitude at the time? Go one day without complaining or blaming. See what happens. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you viewing up until the end here. And if you did like my video, I would so appreciate a little like, and feel free to subscribe to find out about more videos coming up. Thank you so much. Bye.